Alright, my math friends, here we are, the last part of chapter 3, and this is going to be a tough one. These are the most difficult problems we've had this year, the most difficult word problems. So it's a combination of chapter 1, 2, parts of 3, all wrapped up into this very last section. And a real tough math problem, I like to call it doozy. Alright? And what doozies are is like a really hard math problem, one that just takes a lot of thinking to figure it out. So to figure these problems out, we're going to have to just think it through. Okay, and I'm going to be honest, it's hard to teach how to solve these word problems because each one is so incredibly different. I can't just tell you exactly what to do and then you be able to use those same steps for all the word problems you're going to solve in this 3.6 assignment because they change so much. Alright, we're just going to have to look at them, we're going to think it through, and you have to just try and think about what it is that you need to do step by step. It does get easier the more you practice it, but I'm just going to be honest, it's a tough process. Okay, I'm going to do the best I can walking you through this stuff to hopefully get a feel for what to do. Alright, I've already wrote down the steps over here to kind of save us some time, and I'm just going to work through those steps. Let's take a look at this very first problem. You want to read through and get a visual the same time that you're kind of reading through. Picture what's going on in your mind. Caitlin bought 3 packages of ground beef. Okay, so picture her buying 3 packages of ground beef, maybe at a store. The packages weighed 2.65 pounds, 1.85 pounds, and 2.46 pounds. Okay, that's the weight of her 3 packages. She divided the ground beef into 4 packages. Okay, so she took the 3 packages and then she wanted to split them into 4 packages, each the same weight. Okay, so she kind of divided those up evenly into 4 packages, and they all weighed the same, every one of the 4 packages. How many pounds of ground beef were in each package? Okay, so we read through, we have a visual. Let's underline the question. So how many pounds of ground beef were in each package? So she repackaged the 3 of them into 4 packages. They all weigh the same. We want to find out how much one of those would weigh. Alright, each is our 1. Okay, we can kind of use that clue. You need to identify your math facts. Let's go through here because we need to use each one of these. So she has 3 packages of ground beef. The packages weighed this amount. Alright, so far our numbers are positive. She divided the ground beef into 4 packages, each weighing the same. Alright, there is our math facts. And now what we're going to do, step number 4 has changed a little bit since the last time we talked about step 4. We're going to build mini math problems. Alright, this is where the thinking part comes in. You have all your facts, you identified those. Now you have to think about what math problem you need to set up first. Like, which one of these facts are you going to work with first in order to start getting to this main question? Okay, it's the thinking part. This is what makes it a doozy. Build the mini math problems. So what I need to do here, in order to find out how many pounds of beef were in each package, well, I need to find out how many pounds she had total. Okay, I need to find her total amount of pounds of beef she had. I'm going to start with that. So I'm going to use these 3 numbers. This is going to be we'll call it the mini number 1. Okay, the first thing we're going to do. The mini number 1 is we're going to add up all this beef and see how much she has. So we have 2.65 plus 1.85 plus 2.46. And if I add that all together, my grand total of beef is 6.96. Alright, 6.96 pounds. That's how much she has total. Okay, that's everything. All together. All the beef is that much total. Okay, now what I want to focus on is, see, through this math problem, you're going to use all of these numbers. Okay, so now the next number I want to use, the next thing I want to find out is I want to take, I know she took all this beef and she divided it into 4 packages, so that's what I want to do. I want to take this total amount of beef and divide it into 4 packages. Okay, so my mini number 2 is taking this total, dividing it by 4 packages. Okay, I'm not going to show the division because this is already going to be long enough on me talking through these problems. If you divide that out, 6.96 divided by 4, you're going to get 1.74 pounds. Okay, now take a look back at the question. How many pounds of ground beef were in each package? Okay, so take a look. We just answered it right now. It is 1.74 pounds. Okay, we took our total amount of beef. We found that out in our mini math problem number 1. And then we took all that beef and we divided it into 4 equal packages, and we have 1.74 pounds for each package. That's how much each one of them would weigh. Alright? So we worked out step 5, we solved these two to figure out what to do. And then 6, checked our answer, we just did that too. We kind of went back to this question and made sure that we answered that. Okay, so this one took 2 small math problems to work out to be able to get our answer. Okay, notice this 3 packages, we didn't really use the number 3, but we kind of did, because we added all 3 of the packages. So we did kind of use that number in a sense without having it listed anywhere down here. Okay, how'd that feel for you guys? I hope that went okay. Let's take a look at some more and we'll see what else we have. Okay, here's our next problem. Read through it first. A 30-minute TV program consists of 3 commercials. Okay, so picture that. You have a 30-minute program on TV. Maybe it's a comedy or something. There's 3 commercials in that program, each 2.5 minutes long. Okay, so each commercial runs for 2.5 minutes. We have 3 of them. Okay, get a visual going on. And 4 equal length entertainment sections. Okay, there's a lot of information right here that can get really confusing. 4 equal length entertainment sections. Okay, that's just the show itself. Okay, so picture a show. It has 3 different commercials and it has 4 different pieces where it's the actual show itself that makes up that half hour. How long is each entertainment section? Okay, so this is what we're trying to find out. How long is each entertainment segment? We know the commercial is 2.5 minutes long, but we don't know how long it is of the show going on before we have the next commercial, and that's what we're trying to find out. Okay, we read through, we underlined the question. Now let's identify these math facts. Well, we have a 30-minute TV program. We know that it has 3 commercials, and each one is 2.5 minutes. And we know that there are 4 sections of the show itself, and they're equal length. So they may be like 10 minutes long each. There may be 4 of them. Well, that would be over 30, but that's just an example. They're going to be equal length, whatever number of minutes those are. And that's what we need to find. How many minutes is each of those entertainment segments? Okay? So we need to start building our mini math problems. This is the thinking part. This is where it takes some time to figure out what it is you have to do. Okay? What I want to do first is find out how many total minutes of commercials I have. There's 2.5 minutes each. I have 3 of them. My mini number 1, okay, mini math problem number 1 is to find out how many commercials I have. That way I can take it off of that 30 minutes to find out what my entertainment section is. Okay, so let's find out how much commercials we have. 2.5 minutes. I know as a decimal, it's a little bit easier to work it as a decimal. 2.5 is just 2.5. Okay, times 3. And if I do the math on that, 2.5 times 3 is going to get me 7.5 minutes. Okay, that's how long my commercials are total, 7.5 minutes. And now what I want to do is find out how long the entertainment part is, the actual show itself. So I'm going to take, and my mini number 2 is going to be to take the 30-minute program minus 7.5 minutes commercials, and that'll tell me how many minutes the actual show is. Alright, do the subtraction on that and you get 22.5 minutes. Okay, that's how long the show is itself, 22.5 minutes. Alright, that's the total length of the show. I have one more step to do, one more mini math problem to find our answer, and that is, let's go back to this last fact that we haven't used yet. This 22.5 minutes is going to be broken down into 4 equal length pieces, and that would give me the answer to the question. So I'm going to take 22.5, divide that by 4, and if I work that out, it gives me a weird time, 5.625 minutes. Okay, that's how many minutes each part of the show is. So there are 4 pieces of the show that are this long each, and then we have the commercials in there too. So we just kind of went back through and we checked to make sure we answered the question, and we kind of go back through our steps, take a look and see if it makes sense, and we used our facts, we did, and so I'm happy with this answer. Alright? Okay, let's take a look at the next problem here. See how different these are? They're just tough to work out, guys. Read through it first. Alana uses 1 1/4 cups of flour for each batch of blueberry muffins she makes. Okay, each means 1. Okay, so that's how much cups of flour it takes to make 1 batch of blueberry muffins. She has a bag of flour that contains 76 1/4 cup servings. Okay, that's how much flour is in the bag. How many batches can Alana make if she uses all the flour? Okay, we're focusing on, here's our question, how many batches can she make out of that bag? So picture a big bag of flour, and we want to find out how many batches she can make out of that flour if she uses this amount every single time. Okay, we have our visual, we underline the question. Now let's take a look at number 3. We're going to identify the math facts. Well, we have 1 1/4 of a cup of flour for each batch she makes. Her bag contains 76 1/4 cup servings. Okay, so there's all the math facts. We have those. Now comes the tough part, and that is building these mini math problems, trying to find out what we want to do first. Well, what I need to do first, in order to find out how many 1 1/4 cups of flour is in this bag, I need to find out how much flour I actually have in the bag. I have 76 of these 1/4 cup servings. I have 76 of them, and so I want to find out how much that would be total. My mini number 1 is going to be taking the 76 and multiplying that by 1/4, because that's how many I have, 76 of these 1/4 servings, so that I can find out how much is actually in my bag total. That is going to get me 76 over 4, and then that comes down to 19. Okay, 19 cups. Alright, that's how much flour I have total, 19 cups. Okay, now we're going to look at a division problem. We're going to take our total divided by this many cups to make one batch, and that will tell me how many batches I can make if I take 1 1/4 cup out of this 19 cup bag every single time. Okay, so my mini number 2 is to take 19 cups, divide that by 1 1/4, and then see what that would come out to be. Okay, so to divide these fractions, you got to take your second fraction and you have to flip it and multiply. Okay, but to do that we have to make it improper first, and we also have to stick a 1 underneath this 19, so I'm going to work this out in a few steps. Okay, so you would divide it by making that improper, multiply and add. You would have 5/4. Then we have to flip this around, so I'm going to continue that right down here. 19/1. Okay, we flip that around and then we multiply straight across just like a multiplication problem. And when we multiply those across, we get 76/5. If we simplify that down, that would be 15.2 if you do your division. Okay, 15.2 batches. Alright, here's how much flour we had in the bag, 19 cups. We divided it out by 1 1/4 cups for each batch, and that leaves Alana with 15.2 batches that she can make out of that. Okay, check your answer, go back through, make sure it looks reasonable. I think it does. We found the total amount of flour. We divided that total flour by the amount it takes to make a batch, and that told us how many batches that we can make.